Hello everyone, I am Meenakshi and I welcome you all to Tathastu, and today's date is 4th of September and today is birth anniversary of the grand old man of India, that is Dadabhai Naoroji, who was known as the grand old man of India. He was born on 4th of September, that is today's date, and the year was 1825, and we all know him that he was one of the most important pillar of our Indian national movement. So in this video we are going to learn about his contributions to our nation. And before starting, these are the courses which are offered by Tathastu-ICS for all of you. MSLV, targeting your mains examination, admissions are open. Then NCERT module, where you can register and clear your concepts of NCERT. PSLV, which will be targeting your prelims examination, will be launching super soon. And then there is this philosophy optional by Tanu ma'am, and if your optional is philosophy, you can get yourself enrolled. Also, you can visit the Tathastu's website, as well as these are the phone numbers. You can inquire over here also, and this is the address of our main office. You can also visit over here. You can take the screenshot of this. Chaliye, let's begin. What is the context? The context is that today is birth anniversary of the grand old man, that is Dadabhai Naoroji. He was born on September 4, 1825, Bombay, and Bombay, it was earlier, Mumbai was earlier known as Bombay. We all know that. So he was born in Bombay, and he was an Indian nationalist. So he was he belonged to, we know that Congress split it into two parts, that is moderates and extremists. So he was on the moderate side, that is asking for Indian freedom through this constitutional struggles, through this prayers, petitions method, through the means of constitution, through sharing of power. So he was an Indian nationalist and in critique of British economic policy. Also, the most important contribution, so his every contribution is important, but the most important contribution of Dadabhai Naoroji is the economic criticism, the economic exploitation, the way in which he highlighted how the Britishers were looting our country, how they were economically exploiting us. So that is considered his major contribution. And if we talk about his education, he received his education at Elphinstone College, which was in Bombay, which is now Mumbai, and after graduating from there, he also served as this mathematics and natural philosophy professor before entering politics. So he was a professor basically by profession before entering the politics, and he was also known as the India's grand old man, or the grand old man of India. And one more important thing, he was known as the unofficial ambassador of India. Why he was known as that? Because he was the first Asian MP to be elected to the British Parliament at that time. So even our INC was formed in 1885, but way before that he was the first Indian elected to, as well as first Asian, he was elected to British House of Commons, and thus he created history. And this is why he was also known as this unofficial ambassador of India. And he was one of the founder of Indian National Congress as well, and presided over the 3 Congress sessions, that is 1886, Congress was formed in 1885. So next year in 1886 he presided over the session of the Indian National Congress, then 1893, and then 1906, where this self-rule was demanded. So this was also one of the important session where this happened during this Swadeshi movement, and he was a founding member of INC. We have seen that. He advanced the drain wealth theory. So we will be learning what is drain wealth theory. It is important, and it is his major contribution, highlighting the economic exploitation by the Britishers, and he described British exploitation. So he wrote a book on this economic exploitation, and that book goes by the name Poverty and Un-British Rule in India. This question has been asked in your UPSC prelims examination, that poverty and un-British rule in India. It was in the form of match the following, that poverty and un-British rule in India was written by Dadabhai Naoroji. Now moving on, in order to communicate the Indian viewpoint to Britishers, he co-founded this East Indian Association. So he was also the co-founder of East India Association, sorry, and it was considered the predecessor of the Indian National Congress. So to actually reach out to the Britishers, to tell about the viewpoint of the Indians to the Britishers, he co-founded this East India Association. And after founding this, he traveled around India as the secretary of this East India Association to generate money and to collect money for this organization, this association, and to raise the public awareness about this association. Now he assisted in the formation of INC, we have seen, in 1885, and then he presided over the 3 sessions of the Congress, and most important among them was the 1906. It was conducted amidst this Swadeshi movement, and he was appointed by Governor Lord Reddy to Bombay Legislative Council as well, and he rose to the position of this Vice President of this Bombay Presidency Association. Now he was a Parsi, he was born in a Parsi family. He founded the Rehnumai Majdayasan Sabha to restore Parsi religion, to basically reform the religion to its original purity. So he founded this Rehnumai Majdayasan Sabha. Now moving on, he participated in the formation of Indian Parliamentary Committee in 1893 to represent Indian concerns, to represent Indian interests. So he participated in the foundation of this Indian Parliamentary Committee as well, and he was part of this. Now during Britishers, there were lots of commissions which were formed, and he was part of this Royal Commission on Indian Expenditure. So this is important for the prelims examination specifically, that Royal Commission was related to, there will be 4 options, and if you have to choose the correct answer is Indian expenditure. So this Royal Commission was formed related to probe on the matter of the Indian expenditure, and the year in which it was formed was 1895. And he also founded this Rost Gaftar. It was a fortnightly publication which meant the truth teller. So this Rost Gaftar was a fortnightly publication and it meant truth teller. And why he founded it? To promote the Parsi social reforms, and for reforming this he also founded association. We have seen it. Now let's talk about this drain theory. What was drain well theory? If in simple words we have to conclude it, we have to understand it in a single sentence. That means the Britishers were draining our wealth, they were looting us and taking our wealth to their country, to their nation, to fulfill their own interests. So basically, and it is said that when they came, we had this 23% of world GDP when the Britishers started ruling us. So we were among the rich nations. If we see that at that time we had this 23% of GDP, but when they left in 1947, we had only 3%. We had only 3% GDP of the world. So this is basically what they did to us. This is, if you have, as I said, if you have to understand in simple word, this is drain of the theory. They looted us and economically exploited us. So this Imperial Britain was siphoning off India's wealth to benefit itself through exploitative economic policies, be it their agricultural policies or their financial policies. Whatever policies they make, they were in their own interest. For example, they started this one-way free trade. So this was also a way of looting our country. They started this one-way free trade. So it was the part of this exploitative economic policies. They started these land settlement, the permanent, the Rayatwari, the Mahalwari settlement, where they demanded the 80%, 90% of revenue was to be given to them. So this was how they were exploiting us and how they were exploiting the rural economy, the urban economy. This is how they exploited us. Now if we talk about this drain of wealth theory, these were enough examples, I guess, for you to understand. Now let's see. So basically, Imperial Britain was siphoning off India's wealth to benefit itself through exploitative economic policies, be it one-way free trade or their agricultural land settlements. And they were also such as the foreign rule of India, the high cost of, so Britishers, when they used to send these expeditions, these military expeditions, the money they were using were of the Indians. So the cost of the British civil and military establishment, it was the money of the Indians. The exploitation of the nation due to free trade, as I said, it is one way free trade policy, and the theft of Indian workers earning by the non-Indians. How they theft, how they took away that money through various land agricultural settlements and the interest payment. So one of the, just a minute, one of the major drain of wealth and how they economically exploited us was this, the interest payment made by India on its public debt, which was held by Britain, which were used by them for their own purpose, but the debt was paid by India. And I hope you found the session interesting. If you find it, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. Thank you.